Hey there guys, welcome to my second part of how to play over changes. This time we'll be concentrating to play over the same chord progression but using different concept, and this time we're using triads. And I think the triad is the most important tool when it comes to improvising and navigating through the fretboard. So it's very, very important to have them down in all their inversions. So the first question you might ask, what is an inversion? If let's say you're a pentatonic player and you just play your scale. So in B minor it would be, you know, your 5 positions already, and let's say you want to know, okay, what is B minor? B minor is a chord which contains the notes B, D, and F sharp. So basically in intervals like last time, we have the 1, we have the flat third, and we have the 5th. So that is very important to keep in mind. But the thing is, we have 3 notes, but if we start with, we can start with any of these notes and it would sound different. So let me demonstrate it to you. I will use the B minor arpeggio, like B, D, F sharp. Next time is D, F sharp, B, which contains flat third, 5th, and 1. Then we're gonna have the 5th, root, and the minor third. And then we have the root, minor third, and the 5th again. So how does it sound over the, say we have a B minor. This is a root inversion, sounds nice, we're ending on the 5th. This is a totally different beast. So the next one, also very nice, we're ending on the flat third. And if we keep going, which is again, we start on the we end on the root. Yeah, that's what I'm missing. We end on the root. Yeah, so this might sound a little bit stiff and okay, it sounds nice, but the thing is, let's say like last time we want to go to the E major chord. So the notes would be, and remember the last exercise we used the third. So the third of the E chord was the G sharp, which would be here. This already sounds nice. So let's say I'm gonna make a quick backing with B minor to E. So this is B minor and this is E. So now I'm going to play, and now the G sharp, because why I'm using the G sharp, because it's a third. But the thing is, we can mix it up. We can now we start from every inversion and try to find the nearest note possible in E major. So the first thing was we ended on the F sharp. So the next note we can possibly use in the E major chord. So that before that we need to check out the inversions in E major. So this is the root position. 1, third, 5, right? Then we have third, 5, 1. Then we have 5, 1, 3, and then we have 1, 3, 5. And it's also very important to sing them along, because then you have a better idea what's going on. Because when you improvise, you don't want to play just licks, because you want to create some melodies. And if you have the intervals down, you can pretty much cover all melodies which contains these notes a lot better. So let's say we have the B minor here. So the nearest thing we can do with this. So we mix it out, B minor, E major. So the next chord pair would be, we have, so this already sounds nice. Let's hear it on the backing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, you get the idea. So it sounds very musical, and that's the point here. We want to train our ears to hear how does the fifth sound, how does the third sound. Last time we were using just the third on the E chord, but now we're using a little bit more. We're using the whole arpeggio section. So, for example, like I did, B minor. So the next thing in E would be here. Same with B minor. Next thing. So there are very nice sounds already, and if you play around with it, you can create some really nice sounding lines. And the thing is, with changes, it's about to think ahead. I mean, you have to think about the next chord when you're already playing the first one. All right. So let's say you're jamming in B pentatonic, and now I want to go to E major. Once again, similar kind of. So you see, I hope you can hear the changes. Like when I played, I played the first one was a pentatonic phrase, and then going back to the E major arpeggio, and so on. And that's the first step. I think the first step you have to master is to know where your positions are. I mean, you have to know this is your root position for B minor. This is the first inversion because it contains the minor third, the fifth, and the root. And then you have the fifth, the root, and the minor third. And you go on until you reach the highest point in this direction. And the important thing, I guess, is to stay in one position first. Just take from fret 2 to, let's say, from the highest note to fret 7. This is really important because you have to limit yourself to find new ideas. Sounds a little bit strange, but at least for me and for many other players I know personally, works great. So this would be the first thing. So one little thing I want to mention. If you want to get more details and if you want to get tablature from all this stuff, I've got a Patreon page just launched, and you will get the backing track where I jammed over. You will get the tablature, you will get the guitar profile, and it's a little bit more detail. So with there are different tiers. Where member section where you can find out what works best for you. So I highly suggest to at least look at it because yeah, you get a little bit more detail. So, but let's say we have the arpeggios down. I will once again play them all for you. So this is the B minor section. First inversion, second inversion, root inversion, first inversion. And don't forget this one. Oh, I love this one. It started with a fifth, then the one, and the minor third. Let's say 3 notes, and the 4th note goes to E major. Listen to how beautiful it sounds. Bum, ba-dum, bum. So a very nice sound. And imagine you can create longer lines. So this sounds amazing. Let's try. So you get the idea. If you can play around with it a little bit, and also I would suggest to use the same rhythm, just to see how good you can navigate. So here I'm using 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here I'm using a half note and 2 quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the other chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the first step. The other step, which is really important, and most players don't do this, is to mix up the direction you go. Not just up or down. Most guys would practice this like this. Let's say you're doing just the B minor arpeggios. Most guys would do this. That's okay. Some guys will then do this. So just backwards. That was a mistake. I'm sorry, I put the A in. But you get the idea. So that's okay, and that works. But the thing is, try to mix it up. I'm a big fan of writing down. Like, I'm not cheating, I'm just, so you get this stuff by Patreon, on my Patreon site, but just to have a visual idea about what you're doing. And now I'm doing one thing. I'm playing the same as I did before. And then again the root. But this time I'm mixing up, and I'm not playing just root, third, fifth, and so on. I'm mixing it up. Maybe I will start here. So you know what I mean? I'm mixing up high to low, low to high. So this will give my lines a little bit more depth, because it doesn't sound too predicted. Let's say you're mixing up the B minor with the E major, like we did here. Let's take these two arpeggios. So B minor up, and now E major up. Let's try a B minor up and E major down. So let's think about it. We're starting. So what I'm doing here, I'm going backwards. I'm searching for the nearest note to come back, and this is the E, because I'm on the F sharp. It's the E. So this sounds. Sorry. Let's listen to it against the backing track. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Before it was. So you see, the line of the melody was changing. It was not just up or not just down, it was up and down. And the motion of a melody is very important. Don't just go up or just go down. You have to mix it up a little bit sometimes. And this requires a lot of practice for sure. But if you limit yourself, it's easier. So now let's take the same idea. And now go the next note down, up, and then again down. So now we go up, down, and again up. This also sounds different then. You know what I mean? It really sounds more interesting. And that's the thing here. Really have the patterns down. You have to know where's the root inversion, where's the third inversion, the first inversion and the second inversion, starting with the third or with the fifth. And it's important to know where to start and where to end. And this would be the practice idea I want to give you for this week, is to know all your triads with every inversion in this space. But just B minor and E major, that's enough for now. And every time you change the chord, say where you are, like root, and then again. Every time, know where you are on the fretboard. Exactly. Know exactly, this is my third, this is my fifth. And this will keep you busy for a while, I know. And but the thing is, you really have to have that down. For example, let's say, like last time, we want to add another chord. Let's say A major, like last time. So imagine you're playing B minor, E major, and then A major. So this is very basic cycle of chords. So let's say you want to create a melody. Let's try it. Sounds not too bad. I'm just using the B minor arpeggio, E major, starting from the third. So I began with the root, third, and then I'm starting third. So I'm using an open triad. We will talk about that. But just for now, just as an example, many players like Eric Johnson, John Bonamassa, so many use these triads, you know what? So you can create beautiful ideas on lines with it. And that's the thing, just focus on your triads, know where they are. And I've written down a couple of ideas for you. So if you then know what you're doing, I would suggest to write little lines. I prepared 3 lines for you just to listen. Remember, on Patreon you get the tab. Here you can listen and transcribe if you like. So this is our first idea. Here I prepared 3 lines that you can use over the B minor to the E. Now I try to create them as triad as possible to keep the lesson serious. So let's find out how they sound. Once again. I want you to rewind back now and play the chords along so you really can hear. I could do it with the backing for sure, but I want you to do this and really focus on how the line and the melody goes. And the next thing I would suggest is to transcribe it or use my Patreon site where you can download the tab and try to learn it and try to analyze it, what I'm doing. I'm playing root, third, fifth, just the arpeggio upwards. And then I'm using, another sound, which is the 9th. So this is the time to be creative. You can use your B minor pentatonic or your B minor scale, but within the triads, so you can mix them up. And this will create some more interesting ideas. But be careful, just use one interval at first. Like here, I'm using just the 9s. So here's my 9th, and it goes perfectly, it resolves perfectly to the 5th of E, because it's the B, it's the 5th of E. Then we are to our E major chord, and it sounds nice and resolves nice, and I'm landing again on the 5th. It sounds beautiful, I think. So the next idea is once again. Again, I'm playing the 5th. I'm starting now on the 5th, not on the root always. 5th, root, 3rd. And now I'm resolving to the 3rd, like you know from the last lesson, and just play the arpeggio, the triad upwards, and using ending on the root. So starting on the 5th of the idea and ending on the root of the other chord, which can sound nice. So this is the next idea. Once again. I'm sorry, once again. So again, I'm starting on the minor 3rd, and I'm landing from E, I'm landing also on the 3rd, on the major 3rd. Sounds very nice. Once again, rewind back and play all the licks of the chord. I will once again play all 3 licks, and you can comp it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Phrase 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Phrase 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. As you might notice, you can also change the rhythms. For me personally, I'm a big fan at first of creating lines. Really write them down. That's the most important lesson I got. Write down the ideas. Also, if you might think, it's not the best thing in the world, but you can play with it and maybe transfer it to a very nice idea. So like I did the same here. I wrote down the arpeggios and then creating lines from that. So I'm like you, a student always. So remember that you always have to practice this stuff. And the more you practice it, the more it gets second nature, and that's the good thing. So yeah, I would suggest to practice these 3 lines and create your own lines. Let's say you want to create 5 lines. Just keep it simple. Just keep. You can also use just quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4 chord changes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's give a quick example. Let's say I'm the student, and I would play the first B minor. I'm using 3rd, 5th, 1 root, and now I have to know where the next note could be of my E major arpeggio. So I will choose the 3rd, like last time. I will go up, 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 and then I might go. Let's say I might go back to the 5th. So my line would be. So let's hear it over the backing track. I'm sorry, once again. Bum, 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 ba-da-dum. And this might sound a little bit like an exercise now, but next time I'm going to show you how to create very, very nice melodic lines just from these simple ideas, because the greatest melodies of all time, if you just analyze them and put them into notes, and you see them just as notes, the problem there is that it will sound stiff, and you have to make the musics. You have to make the music. Okay, and next time I'm going to show you how to make music from this content. So the thing is, it might sound stiff in the beginning, but the thing is how you use to phrase these ideas, because you just can't play always arpeggios like here. You might sound, you can make it sound like this. So this is the same concept and idea, but using maybe a different other idea. And in the end of the day, it's all a combination of these things. But you really have to have the basics down. And these are the basics just to know where triads are. And the next thing you get every time you learn something new. You maybe want to embellish a bending, a slide, and you can experiment with this too. Let's say you do. That sounds musical, but it's the same idea and concept. So, but visually, I'm thinking really, I'm seeing these arpeggios, and I'm working my way around through it. So, thank you so much for taking the time to check out my lesson. Next time will be soon, I think next or the week after that. If you have any questions, please just comment, write me on Facebook, I'm not on Twitter, I'm sorry, just on Patreon maybe. And that's the next thing. I really want to check out my Patreon site, because I'm offering also transcriptions from my own work, from just improvising, and also you get the next time you get a transcription of the solo I played with the red guitar over this backing with B minor and E. So you will exactly see what did I play. And it might be the next lesson where I'm analyzing a little bit of it and telling you, okay, here I'm using this triad, this was the idea, I'm using his slight embellishment, chromatic approach note, or something like this. So be sure to check out my Patreon site, because I will offer them for a little amount of money, because we all have to live and eat and sleep, you know. And yeah, so thank you so much for taking the time, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.